encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
What this thing is doing, but it's buffering or something on my end. I don't know if
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
welcome to today's program. Shout out to all the channel members. I appreciate every single one of you. Hey everyone, it's Marlene Motivates. How are you guys doing? Welcome to Relationship Friday. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for your support. And you know what we do on Relationship Fridays? We talk about important topics. We go into some really important details and talk about certain conversations that we need to have, talking about whether it's somebody you're dating, whether it's somebody you're married to, you're in a relationship, whatever it is. And today is an important one. So I have to say trigger warning, trigger alert, all of those things. So if you have not already, hit that like, subscribe to this channel. So let me see who is in the comment section first before I get started. I'm experiencing a lot of buffering on my end, guys. Hey, Miss Rashid, how are you doing? Welcome. I'm getting a lot of buffering. Oh, a lot of buffering. I hope it comes back. Okay, it just came back. So, yes, Miss Rashid. Hey, Colton, how are you doing? Hey, Puzzle Pieces, how are you? Welcome in. I appreciate everybody's support. If you guys could please hit the like. How are you guys doing? Welcome into today's stream. Appreciate every single one of you. So let me just start off. Dating a stalker. First, I'm going to do my short little story time, and then I'm going to get into the chat and I'm going to read some things. So we'll get into it. So mine takes place, what year was this? 2006. 2006. I was in college. I was doing some internship for the program that I was in, and somebody in my program called themselves liking me. And it got to be where no matter, you know how like in the beginning, you call yourself trying to be nice to somebody, but then You can't be nice to some people. So it turned out to be, no, everywhere I went when I was at school, they were popping up, they were asking questions about me. They got jealous and angry about everybody that I talked to. So that's a whole thing. That's a sign. Hey, Realist One, how are you doing? Welcome in. Appreciate you being here. So it's one of those things that, like in the beginning, you try to be nice and everything, right? You try your best to be nice, you try your best to be polite, you try to be a good person. But when it gets to be when you are seeing someone and then you start seeing the crazy, right? I don't know who this message is going to resonate with, but you start seeing the crazy within somebody, like they, let me put up some of these banners that I put up with. So, dating a stalker. So I was in, I wouldn't even say that it got to the point where we were actually dating, but I would say talking to. I was just starting to get to know this person. We were in the same program at school and I had known them for a while. So, you think you know somebody. So it got to be, well, okay, I'll give them a chance, right? Whew, big mistake. You know how, like, sometimes when you open a little bit of a door to let somebody in and they completely take over? For me, it started off by controlling who I was talking to, where I was going. It was out of control, very controlling of the situation, very controlling of, who I was around. And that's a big red flag, everybody. I wish I had realized it more in the beginning, but I didn't. Um, when you're younger and you really don't know yourself, you don't know how to say no. You just think, oh, they just like me a lot. And you make a lot of excuses for them, right? So that was one thing, always wanted to control who I talked to, where I was with, and that controlling turned into jealousy. And that jealousy turned into, no matter how much times I would say I'm busy, they still will show up wherever you are. They want to know who you're talking to. Everything, it got to be out of control. They did not respect any of my boundaries. And I know mine didn't last for a long period of time, but the 3 or 4 months that it did last, it was out of control. When I say out of control, everywhere I show up, at the grocery store, at the library, the food store, at my house, always rolling by, stopping, looking. You see them in the corner watching you. That's is really strange. It's very creepy. And I say this, how do I say it? How do I say it in the right way without divulging too much? But there are some times where you have to realize that it's not a person that you can actually date, because some people you find out after you start to get to know them that they have some mental illness. And that's what I found out about this person, that they had some mental illness. So that's what happened. And it took a lot of things. I had to actually switch programs, go to a different school, because everywhere I was, they followed me. They, of course, when they get to know you, they know where you live, showing up at your house, calling your phone all hours of the day, wanting to know where you are, running off everybody, running off even your friends. They don't respect any boundaries. They're completely insane. So for me, I had to completely switch schools, because no matter how much times you tell this person, no, I don't want to be around you. I don't like you. This isn't working out. I don't care for you. They don't respect the boundaries. It becomes a matter of your life or death. I thought that eventually one day, if you keep showing up, being jealous, the next step was you're going to put your hands on me, or you're going to try to do something to bring me physical harm, like, with a weapon. So I had to get away from that person. That was my one and only experience with dating somebody who turned out to be like a stalker, showing up everywhere I go, asking everybody questions about me, wanting to find out all this information about me, being very controlling of my friends. And it doesn't end. It doesn't end no matter how much you tell them no, and no matter how much times you tell them stop. I don't want to pursue this relationship. I don't like you like that. You need to move on. I don't like you anymore. They always want to make, well, how about, let's just take it slow. No matter what you say to them, mentally, they're not all the way together, and they don't respect your boundaries. They don't respect you. And that's what I found. And some people, unfortunately, it gets to a higher degree to where they start getting physically assaulted. That didn't happen to me, but just the fact that somebody was showing up at my house, showing up everywhere I go, following me, um, always wanted to know who was calling me on my phone, who am I around. The weirdness, the strangeness of that was too much for me. And even though mine was only a period of 3 to 4 months, I had to I had to get away from them completely. I went to another school. I was like, it's not even worth it to deal with this crazy person. And eventually it fizzled out. And I guess maybe they found somebody else that they can mess with. But that was my experience. And it was the scariest period of time. It was really scary. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to tell, because it's not like they will put their hands on you, because I actually had went to the police station and talked to them about it. And for me, I feel like the craziest thing that the police will always say, have they put their hands on you? What have they actually done? And according to the police, stalking is not a crime. It's not a crime to follow somebody around. It's not a crime to talk to, basically stalk their phone, send them 100 messages within the day by texting, showing up everywhere you are, being jealous, yelling and all of those things. They say that is not a reason to, they can't do anything about it. All they can tell you is just stay away from them. So it's not really a big help when it comes to police protection. And I hate to say that like that, because I'm not trying to be negative against the police, but if something doesn't actually happen to you, like you don't actually get physically assaulted or something like that, or they don't pull out a weapon on you, they say that they can do nothing about it, which I think is ridiculous. And no matter, even if you try to do a restraining order does not work. Because when a person is crazy like that, they can do nothing about it. No matter how much times you tell them, stay away from me, don't talk to me, leave me alone, the relationship is not working, they continue to show up because they start talking crazy. That's when I knew something was wrong with them, when they were like already planning, we're going to get married, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. And I was like, dude, I don't even know you. I don't even like you like that. This is too weird. Okay. You need to back up. You're doing too much. And then they kept pushing forward. And I had to wind up finding other ways to protect myself. Hey, Tamika, how are you doing? Welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Hey, Nancy, how are you? Welcome in. Thank you so much for your support. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to everybody. So, I'm going to go over some of this information that I have about 12 signs that you are dating a stalker and you need to break up. This information came from bonobology.com. And okay, let me read this information. So, my boyfriend stalks me should not be a word that you say to yourself. At times, these surprises might manifest themselves in dangerous ways, which may seem innocent at first, but by the time you realize it's not, it's usually already too late. One such experience would be when you realize that the man who seems to admire you is actually stalking you. The sign of dating a stalker is not very easy to spot, but once you do, you should cut off yourself from that relationship immediately. It is never easy to push aside someone that you care about, but the alarming signs and the obsessive behavior in the relationship are signs that will always show up. And it comes down to you about how carefully you note this. And one needs to remain alert and to pick these up early so that you do not traumatize yourself later. And here are some of the signs of that. One is, oh my goodness, the buffering on my end. Okay. Okay. 80 is, according to the statistic, 80% of stalking victims are women, while the majority, the perpetrators, 70% are men. And 1 in 10 of stalkers who weren't in any previous relationships act on the threats that they make. Statistics of the victims: 1 out of every 5 women and 1 out of 10 men will be the victims of obsessive stalking in their adult life. So, my question to all of you motivators: have you ever been in a stalking situation? Has anybody that you know, or maybe it hasn't been you, maybe a friend, a relative, has been a victim of stalking? It is so dangerous because they don't cross certain boundaries so that the police can really help you. And that's what happened in my case, Puzzle Pieces. It's one of those things like somebody calling you 50 times a day, yelling, arguing, showing up everywhere that you go, asking all of these questions, you know, just acting really out of their mind, and what they call like obsessive, being obsessed with you. They say that that's not something that they can do. All they can do is give a restraining order, and all of that is going to do is make that person even more angry with you. So, to anybody who is going through that situation, you know, I hope that you will try to do something safe. One of the things that you definitely should not do, if you are in a situation and somebody is stalking you, never tell them that you're leaving, because especially when it becomes dangerous. I've heard so many situations where people get unalived behind saying it's not working out. It's time for us to break up, especially if a person is not, already, they're not mentally stable. That's not the time to tell people we're not going to work out, we're breaking up. Some people, you just have to completely ignore them and just ghost them completely, because they will never get it. No matter how much times you tell them no, they don't understand boundaries. They're not respectful of boundaries, and you have to protect yourself. And especially in this age of social media, how people put so much on social media. Like, I hear all the time how people overshare. um, that's something that scares me a lot. People share their location, who they're talking to, how long they've been there, what they're eating. When you share so much, it's easy for people to know everything about you and to basically just show up where you are because you're telling them where you are. So I don't know what that is, but that is not what I wanted to share. I put the invite link in here if anybody has a story to share, or something that will help the motivators family, because this really is a serious topic. When we talk about stalking, um, some people think that it's funny, just showing up where everybody is. People think it's funny to not respect the boundaries of other people, and it's not funny. It's no laughing matter. It's dangerous. You make people scared, and a lot of people have it twisted. They'll say, I'm not jealous. I'm just concerned. I think I put that in my notes. Probably I did not have time to put it, but that's a thing. It's not that they are caring and concerned about you, they're jealous. And jealousy can go up in different levels. Like it can start with them just being jealous and saying things, and then the next thing, that jealousy can turn into them putting their hands on you, that showing up everywhere you are, finding all your private information, not wanting you to have a life, like completely being obsessed with you, even though you are not really interested in them. So that's that. So I see Miss Nexie here in the background. Let's welcome her to the show. Hi, Miss Nexie.
Hello, Marlene. How are you?
I'm
Hi,
doing
chat.
well.
Great topic.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Very
I'm
good topic.
I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that my situation was not like a long period of time, but I'm telling you that 4 months, Nexie, is a long time for you to feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm someone that probably wasn't in that situation, but was on the other spectrum, which is on the
Uh,
outside of that relationship. Um, like on the outside looking in, kind of thing. With my friend, and it was a group of us that realized that this person wasn't stable since the beginning, since they started dating. And they were like, those warning signs that certain things give you, like it's getting super hot, it's getting super hot, turn it off, turn it off. We were the ones outside the relationship, seeing the things that were happening to our friend, in a very short time from dating this person. um Started like encapsulating her, you know um the one thing he couldn't get rid of, and I think that bothered him very much, it was us. He couldn't get rid of her three best friends. He couldn't do that. He tried. She even tried to push us away a little, but we wouldn't budge. We wouldn't, because we started seeing how controlling he was becoming. We started seeing changes in her, of always, having to tell him the locations where we were at. And at one point I had to tell her, and I had to stop her, because I'm like, I don't like when people are sharing where I'm at. I don't like when people know exactly where I'm at. I don't like that. So either you stop this, or phone him and tell him where you at, but don't post it anywhere. And if you do,
mhm,
don't say that you're with me.
mhm,
Say I'm here. Don't say I'm with so and so and so, and tag us along with it. No, don't. So we started seeing a lot of changes. We started seeing a lot of possessiveness. We started seeing that, you know, he wanted all the time of our friends, all of her time. He wanted to possess all of that time just for him. And what we started seeing is the agitation, like why didn't you call me? Why did you tell me? Why did this? What did that? So those things were the ones that were worrying us a lot. And like I said, we were on the outside looking in. When we will bring something up like that, she will say, oh, no, no, it's just because, we're so in love with each other. He loves me so much that he worries about me. And then, if I ask the question, worries about what? We're just having dinner. It's just us having dinner. What is he worried about? Oh, well, he lost a family member in a car accident, and so he worries about me. Always the excuse of
mhm,
trying to make it okay, or make it seem normal that this person was over worrying about her because he loved her so much. And we try to stop it. We try to explain to her that, that wasn't a healthy relationship. We try to show her that, look at us, we are in a relationship, but we're our own person. You don't see us on the phone with our significant others. We just here with you having a great time. We couldn't eat without her being on the phone the entire time, Marlene. The entire time he was on the phone with her. And I know that he did it so that we could stop going out and inviting her out, but we wouldn't. If we didn't go out, then we would come to her house. And we could see the face he made every time he found us there. I was like, oh, they're here again.
Mhm.
But we were not going to leave her alone with it. Unfortunately, things happened in ways that you don't expect them. Even though, Marlene, I can guarantee you, like you said, you see it coming. You see it. You're like, if he's disattached right now, imagine, or he or she, because, for me, it happened to one of my best friends with, her husband at the time, but that it was only her boyfriend. But I know that women do that a lot as well. But we knew it was going to get to that point, but you never expect the outcome. You know what I mean? Like, you never
See,
expect it. And when you,
see,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Marlene. I'm sorry. No, go ahead,
No,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying that I'm so sorry to hear that, you know somebody, because I don't want anybody, I don't want nobody on social media to know somebody who has dated a stalker. I want everybody to be like, nope, I don't know. It didn't happen to me and I don't know anybody. That's what I want. But I
Mm,
know, unfortunately, it happens to some people. And mine wasn't a scenario to where I had a tragic, it turned into something more than it should. But it could have been. I think if I had kept, like what do you call it, like fanning the flames,
mm-hmm.
because I knew that they were getting more and more, wanting to know more, I stopped telling him
Mm.
things because
You
I was like,
weren't
why do you want to
fooled.
know? I
You
was like,
weren't
why do you
fooled
want to
by
know?
that.
No. I was like, I don't know you like that. I don't feel comfortable telling you. They want to know, who is that? Who is that? And especially if it was a male,
Mm-hmm.
like I would be, and it would just be like my brothers. But I'm like, he's already showing signs that he's jealous of my brothers. Who are they?
Exactly.
Yeah, who are those guys in the background? Why are you worried about it? I'm talking to you. I just want to know who they are. Red
Eh,
flag.
exactly. But the good thing is that you saw that it wasn't something that, it wasn't healthy. It wasn't something that, you were gonna be able to live with. It wasn't. He wasn't able to fool you and control you like a lot of them do. Unfortunately, with my friend, no matter how many, times, or how many different ways we try to explain to her that what he was doing was abnormal, that's not the way someone that loves you behaves. Someone that truly loves you understands that, you have your own life to lead, and you have, your own friends, you have, your own time. Someone that loves you, respects you, and supports you in everything that you do, wants that growth in you. And so, no matter how many times we did that, no matter how many times we showed her that it wasn't the right person, that it was something that it didn't feel normal to us, it didn't feel right to us. It didn't matter how many times we did that. It just, she didn't get it. For her, it was, I guess she's never had that attention. So it was like, I'm in love and he loves me so much. You guys don't understand. He's not violent. It's just that he loves me and he wants to protect me. And this is dating only. When they got married, it just went into, a turbo overcharge. We didn't see her for months at a time. We will call her all the time. We will stop by the house. He will open the door, but she was never there. It was so funny because he would always say, "Oh, she's not here right now. She went to the store." And I'm like, "That's weird because her car is here." So in the beginning, we were allowed to. We're like, "Okay, that's fine. Then I'll come back some other time." Afterwards, we're like, "No, her car is here, so I'll just wait for her inside." And he will try to push us out of the house, but we're like, "No, we're coming in." And we would always go in pairs, like in case something happened, one of us could run and say something. But no matter how many times we did, even first married, um, even her mom was having a hard time reaching her. And the phone calls, they had to be like either on speaker mode, or he would have to be right there by the phone. Show up at work at any time. And even her boss at one point said, "You know what? He can't be showing up over here all the time. He can't. This is a government office. What we do, we cannot have people that don't work here just coming to the building. Like, that's not acceptable." Because he will fight the security guards. "I'm here for my wife, blah, blah, blah." And it was so much, so crazy, because it was very, very crazy. She lost a lot of good jobs because of it. And I think that was the whole point, is that he wanted to keep her at home. But he
Mhm.
couldn't afford to keep her at home, Marlene, because he didn't make that much money. So,
Mm. Yeah, it's one of those things that's very illogical. They want to have control and power over you, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm wrong in saying this, and I'm not saying it to offend anybody, but sometimes I believe that they want you to lose your job so that they can be home, so that you can depend on them for money.
hmm yeah, it's total control. And for us friends, it's so frustrating to see that our independent friend, who was always the go-getter, happy-go-lucky, and never fear of rejection in any job. She will apply everywhere, and she will be like fearless. To see that person turn into a shadow of who she used to be was very frustrating. It was very, very hurtful. It was very painful to see that happening. But like I said, no matter how many times we said it in the very beginning, she just wouldn't listen to us. At one point, she said that we were probably jealous of their relationship. Of course, later on, she was like, I now I get what you guys were trying to tell me. But at that point, it was too late. Things had escalated to the point of, as they say, not to make fun of the topic because it's nothing fun, but to the point of no return, right? And unfortunately, um, fortunately and unfortunately, fortunately, she had, she got out of it, and she was able to be, herself, and feel free, even if it wasn't for long. But she got out, and she was herself. She was becoming herself again. And that's the beautiful memories that I have, is that she was becoming herself again. I saw that fearlessness in her. I saw that, yeah, I want to do this again, and I'm gonna take care of my kids. She had 3 babies. But we tell our friends sometimes certain things that they may not notice because they're in the relationship and in love. When somebody tells you something as a friend, listen to it. You know, play with the idea of or with the things that they're telling you. Play with that. Hey, why are they telling me this? Or why don't they like him or her if it's a girl? As a friend of someone that, is no longer here with us because of, a stalker and an abuser, because that's what he turned out to be. He was a stalker, Marlene, who got his prey. But it just pay attention to those things. Don't make light of someone that shows up everywhere you go.
Mhm.
Find out why they're showing up everywhere you go, because that's not possible. I cannot be in the same place Marlene is, even once, maybe once a year, and that's if we get together on the idea. But I can guarantee you I will not be in the same place Marlene is 10 times out of the month. That
Right.
is so weird.
That would be, yeah, that's weird. It's one of those things that you have to really pay attention to, the red flags. And like you were saying, what the same thing that I got too, when they say, "Oh, your friends are just jealous of you. They just wish that they had somebody like me." And it plants that seed into your mind, and then you start saying, "I wonder if they are jealous of me." And even though he planted that seed, I was like, why would my brothers be jealous of me? I was like, no, that's weird. No. I did I heard it and I processed it, but I was like, no, my brothers are not going to be jealous of me. So that's them. So that's when I started to evaluate and starting to back away from telling all the information that they ask. And that's one of the things that they do. They want to know all your information, where you work, how much you get paid, what are all your family members names, where do they live. And it's just a measure to control you, because when they know all of those things, you're telling them exactly where you are so that they can just show up.
Hmm. Exactly. And it's those red flags, always look out for them. I'm not saying everybody is like that, or everybody's is going to be a stalker or is going to turn into that. But just certain things that you don't like of someone, address them right away. You know what, I don't like when you show up without asking me if it's okay, or without being invited. I don't like that you're controlling my time. I don't like that, you have certain expectations. So the things that you don't like, address them. Because, some people, when they are sick, like Marlene said, they're not right in their mind. They can take things way too far and they can harm you. So, and sometimes you don't even see it coming. Sometimes you don't even see that coming, but you have to be careful. You have to have your ears and eyes and everything open.
I completely I agree 100%, Miss Nexie, because for me, mine got to the point where I had people just like your friend, and I'm grateful that your friend had great people like that too, that was like, why are they here all the time? Or why are they always calling you? Like, they need to chill, they need to give you a break. Or why are they asking you that when, no, that's not okay. You have to have people like that, because in romantic relationships, sometimes you're not always thinking logically. You just think because you're persuaded, you're manipulated into thinking that something is okay when it's not. Hey, Estad, how are you doing? Welcome.
Hi, is that? Yeah, again, and I know that we have friends, and sometimes we don't want to cross that line, right? We don't want to be that
Mhm.
friend that it's always I told you so. Or it's always telling you, be careful, always putting people in a bad light. But when three of your friends are telling you the same thing, that's when you have to stop and think, because there must be something there. If this is what they're seeing, there has to be something there. For us, we told her, you shouldn't date him. I don't get a good vibe from him. I don't know, there's something off about him. You shouldn't date him. You guys have only been together for 2 months and he's already, literally proposing marriage to you. He's in everything that you do. And that's when at one point she said, you guys are just jealous, because I finally found someone. I'm like, jealous of what? We're not jealous, we're just concerned. right? We're just concerned, just think about it. We don't want to make you mad. We don't want you to get mad at us, but we have to be that person for our friends sometimes. The same way we need someone to be like that for us, that will bring it up and say, hey, you know what? He's off or she's off. There's something wrong there. Don't say it about everybody. And when you say it, mean it, so that this person can understand where you're coming from. Because sometimes, um, when the blindfold falls, you just, they look at you like, oh my God, you guys were so right. But it is too late sometimes,
Yeah.
because once they have their claws on you, they're not going to take them off easily. They won't let you go. They won't. So
And
we have to be careful. We have to, make sure that we keep people that have, a good and solid and kind head over their shoulders, not just an air, not just air in there. There
right,
has to be substance.
right, exactly. And it's one of those things that we have to think like, I know for myself, I didn't think it would ever get to that point, but it can get to that point. But when it started to get to like when they started being jealous, and then when they started like raising their voice at me, and I was like, well, who are you talking to like that? They're like, it's one of those things. Oh, and then they'll catch themselves. I'm just feeling upset because you won't tell me where you're going. You see how like they always try to make it seem like it's
It's
concern.
your fault.
Yeah, it's concern when actually they're just trying to make you feel guilty.
It's your fault because you're not telling me where you're going. And again, for I haven't experienced it myself in a relationship, but I lived it with my friend, which is
Mhm.
kind of the same thing, but not really, right?
Yeah.
When we speak of these topics, we say it or we speak of them from experience, because we've lived it with someone or we lived them ourselves and we were lucky to get out. So that's why we keep on emphasizing, be careful who you date. You know what I mean? Be careful. Find out who this person really or truly is before you commit to a serious relationship with them, because you
Mhm.
never know. You never know. And the thing, Marlene, is that my friend was, like I said, she was a very secure, very sure of herself person. We just don't know what happened. We just don't know how it got to that point that it got, because it wasn't even her type. That's the whole point. That is not even the type of person she dated. It was just weird. But it is important for us to make sure that we are dating people that can complement us. People that will allow us to grow, in everything that we're doing in life, that are there for moral and emotional support, not someone that is requiring everything from you, because that is
Mhm.
so tiresome.
Yeah, and my whole thing that I didn't like, it's one of those situations that not me in this situation, but I know of somebody, and they started to date somebody, and within 3 to 4 weeks they were trying to move in with her. And I'm like, what do you mean? And
Oh my
he's like,
God.
well, he says how much he cares about me and all of these things, that he wants to be together with me all the time. And I was like, girl, you have kids. That's what kind of, I think if she didn't have kids, it probably would have turned out different. But I said, you have to be very leery when you have children. Like, who is this person? You're going to have them move in with you, and you
Mm.
have your kids, and you're going to leave them with your kids while you go to work. I asked her, I said, just think about that, okay? Just think about that. Do you really know them? Have you done a background check? That's something that I have to say too. Have you done a background check? Um,
Mm-hmm.
because there's way too many Lifetime shows that has taught me that you have to do your background check, that just because somebody says that they're a certain way, it doesn't mean that they actually are. They could be coming from another state, probably changed their name, took on a completely different identity, and you think they're this, and they turn out to not even be that profession or that career, or everything that they've told you has been a lie.
Exactly, exactly. And you don't. It's so easy nowadays to do a background check, just a quick one. We all have friends. I know a guy who knows a guy who knows another guy that can get that for you. We cannot, with the technology we have right now. We can get basic things, basic, stuff, and if not, call, your local sheriff or police department and say, I don't know, I feel kind of weird. I'm dating this person. Is there anything they're not going to tell you if what it is that is out there for them. But if there's something of concern, they will tell you, yeah, there's something, but I cannot tell you.
Mhm.
So you have to be careful. I, Again, my friend is the only person that I have had the experience of um, going through many many years of stalking, many many years of
Mhm.
SA, you
Oof.
know, and many years of TV, and so she's the only one that I can say, what I seen, what happens when somebody doesn't have the right mindset, or someone that stalks you. I know where it can go. I know how far it can get, and I know how bad it can get at the same time because of her. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us, and that is the one thing that it's painful because I wish she was the one telling her story, right? But at the same time, because of her, I can help others understand that it's not love when somebody needs every minute of your time. That's not love. When somebody shows up uninvited, when somebody wants to keep you from your people, that's not love. Someone that loves you will not hurt you like that. You
Yep.
know what I mean? So for me, when you do topics like this, Marlene, um, I, even though they are painful, and because we have to go back to a lot of memories, it's actually healing at the same time because we get to go through the steps again. The what happened, the how did it happen, the why did it happen. And so what we found out, and this is the one thing I wanted to say, and I'm going to pedal back a little, is that what we found out is that he had been stalking my friend for a very long time. They worked together at one point years ago, and I guess she didn't even know him, but he liked her, so he kept on following her. And eventually he got, I guess, the nerve or whatever to talk to her and date her. But when everything went down and what happened, you know how you find out more than just what happened. So we found out that, yeah, he had been following her for years, stalking
Mhm.
her for years. She didn't even know.
Wow.
So everything was planned.
Wow. That's that's a lot to process, and it's things like, you know, even aside from the dating part, just stalking, let's just say stalking in general. even if it's not somebody you're dating, but somebody who is interested in you and you're not interested in them. And I know that stalking happens in the workplace. I've actually seen somebody who would not give up because they were relentless. They were always like after this person. Come on, let me take you out to dinner. Come on, I want to take you here. And it got to the point where I said, you know, I I'm not telling you what to do, but I feel like this is at the sexual harassment part now,
Mm-hmm.
And I told her, I said, I think you need to tell somebody that you're being harassed, because after you ask somebody once and they say no and they ask again, it's still borderline. But when somebody has done a third time, it's like, okay. And then they're saying it in front of other people, and they're always doing like, you know,
Little
controlling
things here and there for
weird
you.
things. And I'm like, this is creepy now,
Mm-hmm.
super creepy. And I told her, and she's like, well, he says he wants to date me. And I already
He's
told,
harmless.
yeah, he's like, it's not a big deal and all those things. And I say, yeah, but I'm not telling you what to do because we
Mm-hmm.
weren't friends or anything. This was just a coworker, but I'm the type of person that even if protect yourself, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And say and tell them, this is the last time I'm going to tell you, do not ask me out, do not bother me anymore. The next time you say something, I'm going to HR and I'm going to report you for harassment.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But you see, it's as simple as that, right? For us, we're like, okay, that's it. I'm going there and I'm done. But for them, it doesn't register the same way.
Yeah,
For the, nothing when they like you, I guess we can say, or they want you, nothing stops them.
yeah.
And my friend didn't even know he had been stalking her. She had no idea, like I said. And we only found out because I guess they found like writings of like dates and, addresses and stuff like that from
Wow.
a few years back. So, we have to be careful. And we have good friends that are honest with us and tell us, hey, you know what? I'm not sure about that one. It doesn't look all right with me. Like there's something, pay attention. Pay attention because they are on the outside. They're not in love with this person. So
Mhm.
their mind and their sight is not, clouded. It's clear as day. So
Exactly.
listen to don't do 100% of what us friends tell you, but at least, listen to what we're trying to tell you and evaluate the situation. Don't dismiss it. Because when somebody that knows you is telling you, why are you changing so much? Or why is this person always here? We
Hmm.
used to have girls, night out once a month. Now it's girls' night out plus this person here on the phone or shows up out of the blues. Oh, I was in the area.
Yeah,
So,
pulling up a chair.
yeah, I was in the area. So I was like, oh, I didn't know you were here. Yeah, I told you. Yeah, I had something to do here at 8 o'clock at night, like an hour away from home, and you were in the area. That's, you know what I mean? But for her, everything was so cute. Oh, he came all the way here because he's concerned.
Hmm.
That was the point. It's
Yep.
We couldn't get her to understand that that was not normal.
Yeah. Like one of those things is like it's not cute and stuff. I'm grateful that I had brothers. I had two brothers that were like, um, did she invite you here? They no, you can't come in. No, you need to go. And both of my brothers made it apparent if you show up next, what will happen. I can't say it on YouTube, but yeah.
No, again, you had your people, but you were also very open to saying, hey, wait a minute, why is he acting this way? Like,
Mm-hmm.
That you weren't like this before we started dating. So what's going on now? Why are you acting so
Yeah.
different? You had the foresight to say, hey, wait a minute, this is not right. My gut is telling me that what you're doing is not normal. And you were a young kid.
Yep. Yep.
You,
I was young. I was
yeah,
young. Yeah. Only 20, 22. 22. Yep. 22.
exactly.
So,
And again, we're not throwing rocks at anyone that is in a situation like this.
mhm.
We're not saying this to make you feel bad. We're not putting you down. We're not saying that you are this, you're that. No, we're trying to open your eyes up. We're trying to warn you. There's certain patterns that these people follow. They show up whatever you're at.
Mhm.
They know your every move because they're stalking you. So be careful, because that can escalate to a very possessive person that will not let you go.
Yep. And the only way that they'll let you go is, trigger warning. The only way they'll let you go is when they put you in the ground.
Yep.
And I'm not trying to say that to be mean, but I'm being real. That's
Yeah.
how messed up in the head that these people are. They're not operating on a full deck of cards.
They're not. And that's the thing, the aftermath of that is the devastation that they leave around you. Because now, there's, like in our case, there's three little ones. I mean, they're grown ups already, but for us it's still little kids. There's these three babies that are left without a mom because of a selfish person who
Oof.
couldn't let go. You know what I mean? He couldn't let go. And because she was becoming herself again, independent, she was becoming, driven again. She was trying to do right by her kids, but this person didn't want that. It was him or nobody else.
Yeah.
And the saddest thing is that my friend wasn't even dating anyone. She was just trying to move on to get out of the abusive situation. So, for us, it was we paid the ultimate price for that, because now, it's a whole bunch of us that are still, hurting, are still mourning that loss. And then we have three babies that every time we see them, it reminds we see her in them. One has her face, it's all her. The other one, her
Mhm.
attitude. The other one, her laugh, the way she used to look back at us and make, that flip of the little hair just to make fun of us or whatever. And so now we're dealing with having these beautiful kids, these three beautiful children, have no mother because a selfish stalker couldn't deal with his own feelings. And that was their dad.
Wow.
So we have to be careful. We have to, because you end up sometimes paying with your life if you don't pay attention to those warning signs.
Yep. Yeah. It's not something to take lightly, and that's why I say trigger warning. I know that this is not a conversation that is appropriate for everybody, and it will trigger some people to go back and to think of certain things that may have happened to them or somebody that they know, because the statistics are high on DV situations, on the assaults, and some people, they don't make it through. And I want that, even if I get to save one person's life, you know,
Hmm.
and this message would be enough. It would be enough for me that, you know, I never got to the situation to where it got to be a DV situation, or it got to be to the level to where, um, you know, I was afraid for my life, but it was where I started to be concerned. I was nervous. Like, why are you showing up all the time? Like, this is weird. Oh, yeah, I was just over
Mm-hmm.
here. How are you over here? I didn't tell you I was going to be over here. Then that
Mm-hmm.
means you followed me. Oh, I didn't
Mm-hmm.
follow you. So then when, when like, I can't explain it to you, but it's like when your gut tells you, like, I know you're lying. I know
Mm-hmm.
you're lying. Don't say you just happen to be here. How do you just happen to be everywhere that I go?
Exactly. And those are the things that we need to pay attention to. And you're right, Marlene. If we save one person, or we open one person's mind into looking into their situation deeper, that in itself is a plus.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because they won't end up, like a lot of women do, um either being, mistreated, or getting unalived like my friend did, or getting, kidnapped, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like, if we can help someone, for me, is something that I have to talk about, something that I have to say whenever situations like this, or whenever topics like this come up, because it is important, to understand that someone that talks to you is the right mindset.
Mhm.
It's not right. That's not normal. It's not cute. It's not funny. It's not normal.
Mhm. It doesn't mean that they love you. It
Yeah, it doesn't mean they love you.
they say because they love me so much or they love you so much. And also, I have to say on the opposite side too, because women can stalk men too. So it's not just we're just saying that it's something that women get stalked by men,
Oh,
but
no, no.
women stalk men and also women stalk other women if that's the way your romantic interest goes. So you have to realize that if anybody, if somebody is being so controlling, so jealous, showing up, following you, being angry, that's not good. That's not good. It's not okay. And it's something that you have to get away from it because unfortunately it only gets worse the more
It,
that you put that the more that you tell them or the more you feed into it, it gets worse.
yeah, it doesn't get better. That's the whole point, is that, it escalates. It gets higher and higher, the control, the violence, that everything else gets hyped up, especially if you end up dating or marrying them,
Yeah, or having a child.
and having a child. But it,
Mhm.
it gets it gets worse than it was when you were dating. And the thing is, we saw, I remember the day I feel that my friend realized that she had made a huge mistake. I remember that look. I remember her face. She didn't have to say anything. She didn't. It was on her own. I had not said anything. Something happened that I won't say it here because
Mhm.
it's part of
Yeah.
the paperwork, so I can't say it because I don't want anyone else to know who I'm talking about. But um, the day she realized that what we were saying, we were right about it, that to be concerned, the day she realized that, I saw the light come out of her eyes.
Mm.
She, she the look on her face when she turned to look at me, like, what have I done? What have I done? Or how do I get out of this now? It was something that just happened. And I feel that it was the right place at the right time when this happened. But I saw her getting scared, more depressed, a little bit more recluse. She started, you know, dressing differently. acting very, very different than what she used to, like her happy self. It's like something died inside of her when
Yeah.
she realized that it was all about the control, that he had planned the entire thing just to get to her.
Well,
So,
I honestly think sometimes Nixie is they break your spirit.
yeah, yeah, you know what? I think that had already been broken, but she had not realized the the big hornet's nest that she had kicked,
Mm,
or that she had gotten close to. I feel that that day she was probably not loving him as much as she used to, and he hit it's like everything that he did and was doing, it's like it hit her that particular day.
yeah,
And I could see like oh my god, I get it.
yeah,
Like, this is not love. Like, her love died there too.
yeah.
And
It all came down on her.
yeah, it clicked, right? Like, it clicked. What we were trying to tell her, it clicked on her, and she was never the same after that. And again, I'm not trying to scare anyone. I'm just trying to make you more aware, more alert. Make sure that the person that you're dating doesn't have any priors, doesn't have any, mental
Hmm.
health problems, that
Yep.
is with you for the right things, for something good, not for total control. We have to be careful with that too.
Mhm. A person isn't just trying to make you their free meal ticket. Basically, you working and having a place, and they just basically will have a place to live and push you around in your own place.
it again, you have to be careful. For I Every time I see certain patterns on other people, right, that they're dating, I'm like, oh my god, I just want to go and tell them. But then I go back to my friend. I'm like, if my best friend, who knew me for a very long time, didn't want to hear it, didn't believe what I was telling her, this person that is a coworker, or an acquaintance, they're not gonna believe me. They're not gonna believe what I'm telling them. Be careful with him. You know what I mean? Or be careful with her. They're not gonna believe what I'm trying to tell them. They're not gonna grasp
Yeah.
what I'm trying to tell them.
I agree, Nexie. And honestly, I feel the only thing that helped me was that I had two brothers that were relentless. They were like, "You're not dating this guy. I don't care what you say." And they had to, like, I don't know. I can't explain it. Like, it's like the way that they showed me, like, did they show up here? And why did they come to your school? And why did they show up here? And why did they do that? And why do they need to know how much you make at your job? Like, and when I started thinking about all of those things together, I was like, yeah, that is. Like, I didn't say it in front of them because, with your siblings, you can't ever make them think that they're right.
Never.
But in my quiet time when I was by myself, I was like, you know what? Yeah, why are they always showing up? And why do they say that? And yeah, they are jealous or they're angry. And then I put two and two together and I was like, this is not going to work.
Mm. Yeah, and the thing that saved you too is that you weren't in love with him. You
Mm.
didn't fall in love. My friend
No,
did.
I didn't fall in love with him.
Yeah, exactly. My friend did. And I think that's what blinded her. That, she fell in love with him. So nothing we said registered.
Mm.
And it wasn't just 1 year, it was years of this, Marlene. Many, 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 many years.
Mm.
But no matter what he did, we didn't leave
Yep.
her side. We were always there. He hated us, and I know he hated our presence. And her mom. Her mom was relentless.
Yeah.
She will
But
say, if he closed the door, I'll go through a window, but I'm going to see my baby.
Yeah, but and I'm so grateful that your friend had that, because so many people that are going through these situations like a stalker, they have people in their life, and the how they manipulate their mind, they get them to isolate, from their family. So the family and the friends are like, well, you don't care about me anymore, you're acting weird, and they leave them alone. And that's one of the worst things that can
That's
ever
what they want.
happen to them. Yeah.
That's what they want. That's
Yeah.
exactly what they want. Is for them to be all alone, not to
Mhm.
have anyone to depend on but them, so they can continue the abuse, the brainwash. They can continue to possess them. And I feel that as friends, regardless of if you know that your friend is in danger, or that you feel that there's something not right with this person, regardless of what your friend says, even from a distance, even if she tells you, I don't want to see you ever again, even from a distance, stay around, stick around to protect them.
Yeah. Still
Don't leave
be
them.
there and still listen to them,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not gonna lie, I told my brothers, like, stay out of my business, and my brothers was like, okay, and they're both looking at each other like, yeah, we'll be right, we'll be right here. I'm not going nowhere. So you gotta have people who have like some tough skin, and I say that not with laughter, but I say it I laugh so that I can keep it keep it in the right perspective, because I'm grateful. I was one of the ones that I got out. I was saved from it.
Mm-hmm.
It Not everybody does, and I say this with the utmost respect to anybody who that they didn't. That
Mm-hmm.
you
Not
do the
everybody
best.
is as lucky.
Yeah, I'm not saying that to be offensive or negative, but I can say I'm grateful. I'm grateful, and to everybody who did it, I have nothing but respect,
Mm-hmm.
for you, that you still have to live with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about the person that was affected by it. It's everybody who loved them and cared about them. They have to still deal with it every single day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Mhm.
1 or 2 days, maybe. I'm lying. 1 or 2 days, you may not think about it, but every other day you do. And you beat yourself up with, could I have done more? Why didn't I do this other thing? Why couldn't I have done this? So it's a forever type of guilt
Yeah.
and feelings that you feel that you could have, until your therapist tells you, no, you did everything,
That you could.
yeah, that you could, and you were right on doing that. You even actually did too much, a lot more than was expected, but
Mhm.
you still beat yourself around saying, like, why couldn't I save this person? you know
Yeah.
why, when I go to graduations, or birthday parties, a milestone, why isn't she here? That's when I get more upset. Holidays,
Yeah.
because you're thinking, how selfish was this person? How selfish.
Like if you didn't want to be with them, then just walk away, get somebody else. But it shows to their mental capacity that they
If
just,
it
yeah.
Yeah, if it's not the thing is, if it's not me, then nobody else is gonna have this person. That's the whole point. Because these were his kids too. It's not that they were stepchildren. This was his biological kids. You know what I mean? Like, so for me is, if we can bring awareness, Marlene, and sometimes, instead of crying, I'd rather laugh and make fun of something like that, Marlene, than continue to cry. But if we can bring awareness and help someone, to put at least that little seed of doubt that, hey, 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 maybe this is not normal then. So I'm not going to listen to my friends and my family, but these two ladies are saying that this is not normal.
Yeah.
So maybe, it's not that this person shows up. Maybe he is stalking me. You know, maybe it's not all
Mhm.
about I live around the corner. Oh, I was here shopping, or no, he's stalking me because he shows up, or he or she shows up everywhere I go.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. So
And
hopefully we can bring awareness.
well, it just popped up in my head. One of my friends, that's what was happening to her. She was being stalked. We found a tracker on her car. That's how he knew where she was.
Oh my God, that is so
When she got
scary.
her car washed, and the person was like, "What is this?" And we looked, and it said something, I don't remember, but it said something like tracking system. And you're like, that's why he knows where you are.
That is so scary. And this is the thing, I am so in support of our police departments, our sheriff department, but their hands are tied because
Yeah,
if they don't cross a certain, if they don't go over that boundary, and these
yeah,
people know, Marlene, exactly
I know.
how many steps away they have to stay, what exactly will constitute of them getting arrested if they cross this boundary. So they stay, within the limits of they cannot arrest me, they cannot do this, I cannot be prosecuted because I haven't broken any laws. So the police departments, and the sheriff departments, unfortunately, their hands are tied. They can't do much because you cannot arrest
Mhm.
someone from being in the same spot that you are, even though he's done it 7 or 8 times in different places. You cannot arrest them,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Or calling your job a million times,
You
and
can't.
then you
You
get
can't do
fired.
anything.
Can't do
Hmm.
anything about it.
Showing up
Mhm.
at your job, and if he says I was in the neighborhood and I was going to apply at the same spot 15 times, that's your word against his. So they really cannot do anything until it goes into that red zone that we're talking
Yep.
about. When they cross that
Yep.
one is when they can do something about it, but most of the time they can't.
Yep. There's nothing that you can do, but we can always pay attention to, the red flags. One of the reasons why I wore red, a red flag. Pay attention
Yes.
to the red flags, so the things that you see, and don't just push it aside, and don't just say, "Oh, he just loves me," or "He's concerned about me," or whatever it is, or "He just wants to protect me," or
Mm.
"My friends are just jealous." Don't listen to what they say. Follow what they do, and also, coming from a person who has been a part of that, go by how you feel. If they're
Mm-hmm.
making you feel uncomfortable, like, why are they always here, like they make you feel like anxious all the time, that I have to call them, I have to call them. that's
Yeah.
that's that's not good. It's
Yeah,
not a
their
good.
phone is always by their side because they have to make sure that they call them, or they're on the phone and you're having dinner and they're listening to everything that's going on. That's not normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no
Yep.
matter how many times you bring it up. So even if it bothers you to bring it up over and over and over, one day your friend will thank you because
Yeah.
you were the one that didn't give up
Yeah. And
on
I
bringing it
also,
up.
right. And I'm so thankful to all of those strong people, because it takes a strong family member, it takes a strong friend. But don't give up on the people that you love when they're in situations like this. And then, sometimes people will say very insensitive things, like, if you want to get away from them, you can. It's not as easy as that, everybody, until you're in that situation that you try to get away, but they show up everywhere you are. You cannot get rid of them until
We
you get
can't.
into a situation. You cannot understand it. So I'm not here to pass judgments. I'm not here to make anybody feel bad or guilty. But if you're going through that, or somebody is going through that, be supportive,
Hmm.
and don't give up on them, no matter what they say to you.
Yeah, exactly, Marlene. I'm so happy you brought that up. It's not easy to get out of a situation like that. Sometimes, you can't run fast enough. That's the whole point, is that no matter how many precautions you take, how many locks you put, these people, when they're after you, they are honed into you. They don't give you up so easily. And unfortunately, not everybody gets to have a happy ending. Like what we went through, but it's not easy to get out. It's not something that you can do alone.
Yeah.
Don't try to do that by yourself, on your own. Have a group of people, and even sometimes with a group of people, you don't get to save them. You don't get to save your friend. You don't get to grow old with that person because of the selfishness of another. But still, if you're trying to get out, if you're trying or you're afraid of something, have a group of people that you can count on.
Yeah.
Don't try to do it alone.
Yeah. Because you don't have to. Because you
Exactly.
don't have to. That's if that's the only thing you get out of this discussion. You don't have to. You don't have to go at it alone. It's not like how things were back in the day. Now there's agencies and support systems and people you can reach out that will help you, but you're the one that has to actually want to get out. So, great
Exactly.
discussion. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Marlene.
Lexi. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to the after show. Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
guys. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. I'm supporting this conversation. It was a good one. And to anyone who has been a victim, is a victim, or knows of someone, be kind, be supportive, be understanding, and don't give up on that person. Don't give up on yourself. Do what you can do to protect yourself. Thank you so much, Miss Nexie.
Thank you for having me, Marlene. Bye, chat.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you guys on Monday. Bye bye.
What about on the after show?
No, the after show, yes, but everybody in the public, see you guys
Yes, on
Monday.
Monday. Bye.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? I forgive me. I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Ooh, hey, yeah.